had to stop myself last time because my nerves were getting the best of me. But I will make my best effort to finish conveying my experiences here. After seeing the demon on my front lawn, I backed away slowly from my window. I couldn't think. I couldn't comprehend anything at that moment. He was real. He was here. I backed up in my room, slammed the door shut, and sat on the floor, trying to formulate some kind of plan to escape from this thing. Or, more importantly, how to rid myself of this demon forever. I immediately stood upright. He was knocking at my front door. Again, I heard it. He wanted in. I heard him knocking over and over again. Incessant pounding on my front door, always in threes. I began thinking frantically. What was I going to do? Should I stay in here? Should I get a weapon? Should I call the police? I didn't know. And the knocking continued. I was pacing my room, desperately trying to think of what to do. My heart was racing, my body purely running on adrenaline at this point. And suddenly, as if perfectly on cue, the knocking stopped. I stopped pacing. Was he gone? Did he just decide to leave? I had to be sure. I slowly opened my door and looked around. Nothing. I moved out of my room and towards the stairs and peeked down. Still nothing. I slowly moved down the stairs and saw my broken TV and the shattered glass on the floor. Was it over? As I made my way into the living room, I began to feel cold. Very cold. I looked around to see if I could find my thermostat when something else caught my eye. My front door was wide open. I swear I almost had a heart attack. Was he inside? I had no way of knowing, but the first thing that came to my mind was that I had to close the door in case he isn't. So, I quickly moved to the door and slammed it shut. It wasn't cold anymore. I slumped down, back against my front door. I was unbearably tired and needed to sleep. More than anything in this world, I just needed to sleep. My eyes began to close. My muscles began to relax. My breathing slowed. And right as my eyes shut and the shroud of sleep began to cover me, his face was right in front of me. My eyes snapped open to see his face right up against mine. He was staring at me, smiling. I had no strength left to do anything about it. He slowly stood up and reached out his hand. He said to me in the evil whisper,
"Get up. I want to show you something."
I shook my head in disagreement. There was no goddamn way that I was following him. He was going to force me to live that nightmare. He was going to finish killing my mind before he was going to destroy my body.
I said, get up. You have no other choice.
All I could do was look at him. I stared into his amorphous face, as if looking right through him.
You know what I can do. Now get up.
He wasn't going to let me die there. He wasn't going to leave me alone. He wanted me for himself. He was right. I had no other choice. So I raised my hand up and grabbed his arm. Somehow, as if my legs were moving by themselves, I began to follow him up my staircase. He's going to torture me more than likely. We started walking towards my bedroom. The door was shut. As we were in front of my room, he pointed at my door handle, looked at me, and smiled. I knew there was no way out. I had no strength left to run. No strength left to think. no strength left to feel. So I grabbed the handle and slowly opened the door. When I looked inside, expecting to see dead bodies and burning flesh, I saw something that caught me by surprise. It was my laptop, the one I had thrown out the window earlier. It was just sitting on my bed. The demon walked into my room and stood at the foot of my bed, looked at me and said,
"Come, you need to use this."
So I walked forward once again, as if not by my own will, sat down on my bed and picked up my computer. Nothing was open, just my desktop with the regular icons. Nothing strange. This, now that I think about it, was probably the strangest thing of all.
It has been a very long time since I've spoken with a human.
I was too tired to respond.
I forgot how fun it was to distort your world and watch you break down in fear.
Somehow, I managed to say, "What do you want from me?"
I could ask you the same thing. You were the one who brought me here in the first place.
I was so confused, so tired. I just wanted him to kill me already.
I'm not going to kill you. There's no fun in that.
I knew what he was saying, and I tried to feel something, but there was no way. I was too depleted. Just an empty shell.
I'm going to give you two choices now. Two very important choices.
I looked at him with the most lifeless stare.
Listen closely. Your first choice is to live the rest of your days with me. I could have great fun torturing you the rest of your life. Or you can choose to send me to another, because I would love a change of scenery.
All I could do was stare at him. Then out of nowhere, I found the strength to say, "I hate you." He smiled as I said this. He leaned down, put his face next to mine, and whispered,
Make your choice, human.
And suddenly, a window opened on my screen. It looked like a sort of VPN client. Some kind of network was being hosted on my computer. For some reason, the SSID was permanently seared into my memory. For a few moments, nothing happened. I was the only one on the network. Then, out of nowhere, a message box appeared that read, "Someone has joined the network. Would you like to welcome them?" The demon began to smile. Once again, he said,
Make your choice.
I clicked the OK button. A little chat box opened up, and I began to type, "Hello." Following that night, the demon that had been haunting me left my life. He vanished as soon as I sent that message along with my computer sitting in my lap. I wanted to feel remorse for what I had done. Hell, I wanted to feel anything. But all I could do was close my eyes and sleep. When I next awoke, I looked at the clock and discovered that I had slept for 26 hours. It was the first night of sleep I had gotten in 3 days. It has been several years since my experience with that demon, and I've been using a public computer to write these stories because I'm too afraid to own my own laptop again. And it has taken me that long to muster the courage to tell my story to the people of the world, to warn them of this demon that is likely still out there, torturing people for his own amusement, forcing them to pass him on to more people through their internet connections. Beware, he's out there somewhere, and he gives no mercy. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I appreciate it a lot. And also, big thanks to my patrons, and if you want to support me, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. And if you want to hear more scary stories in the future,